Yo, what's up, guys? I'm here with my games from the official ladder tournament. For those who don't know what this is, you sign up on the forums with an account with the letters LT8, um, and at the end of the cycle, which lasts 8 days, whoever's at the top eight on the ladder qualifies for playoffs. So, yeah, if you guys remember, I did this last year. I made it pretty far, so I'm trying it again, and yeah, so the range we're at right now is the like 1200. It's pretty low, but I wanted to show this replay because it's pretty funny. But yeah, pretty much in the low ladder, around 1500. So I wanted to use hyper offense because it's just the quickest, not the most reliable, but it's just fastest. And yeah, just built around a bandit chomp, which I think is a cool set. With zone to trap the steals. Scarf bulky Finny to help with a Shifu and Weavile, all those good things. Just defog in case I need. Spikes could be annoying. Volk offensive with Bug Buzz, no psychic, because I deal well with Pex, like 2 ground types, Trick Finny, Lucha beats down Pex, like I don't need psychic. And then Lucha just fits the team, ground immunity, just an extra setup mon, and then Mammal Swine is just a cool little thing. Because I needed a Stealth Rocker. I didn't want to use Mew because I feel like Stealth Rock Mew is a waste. Mammal Swine is just pretty cool. Just Ice Shot is nice. Oblivious is great too because you ignore Intimidate from Landorus T, and Taunt, so you beat opposing leads like other Mews. So just pretty simple hyper offense concept, and then yeah, just hop straight into the game. So, whoops, music goes on, and yeah. So opponent leads with Mount Metal as I lead with Mammal Swine. I actually decide that I want to get a bit of EQ damage off on this because it's a pretty big threat. Finny can't deal with it. Zone can't immediately OHKO it. Things like that. Chomp, not even banded EQ. I don't think kills. So decided to go for the EQ instead of the rocks. So I think it's just a better play. As I think, yeah, he knocks me out with the bash, which is fine. Mammal Swine was decent, but it wasn't breaking Clef because I'm Sash. So yeah, I go to Volk. He's very weak to that. As far off a flamethrower, don't want to get T-waved or like a random rock slide or something because he's leftovers, so he could be like a status move. As let's go straight for the flamethrower on the Zapdos. Does a shit ton because I am modest. As he clicks discharge. Just wanted to scout to see if he had like Hurricane, because even after +1 to do a lot, then I'll be in Shifu jet range. So I just wanted to scout that out real quick. Go for the Volt switch as I bring in zone. Again, just scouting his set as like I know he pretty much doesn't have it if he didn't go for it the first time. So I'll just start setting up on the Zapdos. I sub here, so I'm gonna get parried by discharge. Man, I'm like, this is great. Just QD again, and then yeah, after this I'm just gonna sub again to be safe from Aqua Jets, and then goes hard Shifu, which is understandable. Probably doesn't think I have Psychic, which I don't. If I'm sub on Psychic with sub is just very rare, as Shifu is just solid play all around. But I go for Bug Buzz and that shit dies. For some reason, I thought that the way Swarm worked, just like Torrent, Overgrow, all that stuff, is that you have to be at 25% or below. But apparently it's at around 30%, which is crazy. So Shifu just drops in one. I am Swarm Volk, so he just instantly dies there. So yeah, and he forfeits because the game is over. Nothing can like beat me through the sub. So that's the first game. I'll be back. We got the second game versus some guy using a balance with Galarian Slowking, Zapdos. This is 1600 range, so decided to switch to a more balanced team, which I think is just best, because just reliability factor with Hippo Pex, just unbreakable. He just played well, similar to what I used last year. And then yeah, so this team is based around Galarian Zapdos plus Specs TAPU KOKO. The idea is most of the things that are switching is Zapdos, being bulky waters such as Tapu Fini, which he has, Slowbro, Toxapex, even Corviknight and Scarm, but you beat those with Taunt. Tapu KOKO just destroys all of them, takes full advantage, and then you keep up a momentum chain with VS plus Zapdos U-turning. KOKO also baits in Ferrothorn and like Landorus, which Zapdos just beats. So it's very solid offensive synergy there. Galarian Zap is like low-key one of my favorite mons. I just really like fighting flying types because you guys know Lucha is my mascot, but this is a very unique typing. Probably one of the most unique in the game, I think. And then Hippo, Pex, Spadef, Hippo with boots, so I don't take any spikes. Pex just helps with my Shifu matchups or all that good stuff. I'm actually bunker, so I can scout versus Kyurem and Tapu Lele, and then Pharaoh, spikes. Hazard stack with Hippo, and then Sandro just rounds the team out, providing hazard control. Another breaker with SD. This Drills is great. It's pretty underrated as well. Doesn't see much use nowadays because people are afraid of Corviknight, but we have ways to deal with that. Let's just hop straight into the game. So looking at it, I knew that again with the music on. Sorry about that. As KOKO is a pretty big threat. Really, the only thing he has for it is Slow King. Everything else, he either gets 2 killed, O code, Chomp, if anything like that, Bisharp. And this hazard just overwhelmed because his team is very grounded, 5 spike weeks. So just get my hazards up and just win with like a late game drill because his ground resist are poor. Outside Zapdos, which I deal with between Spadef, Hippo, KOKO, So I'm just going for a late game drill here. As I lead KOKO, just the best lead. Go straight for the Gleam, hoping it'll kill because it's actually pretty good shot. Even versus bulky Chomps, like 87% to 100. And if he's offensive, he'll just die in 1. So just went straight for the Gleam. I was like, here, even if I don't get the roll, putting this in range of things like Zapdos and Jill is great anyway. And I don't exactly need KOKO that much versus a Slow King, right? So he actually does go for the EQ, which is the best play. Had I just gleaned and he rocked, he'd be in a pretty poor spot. So solid play there. I just knock him out with Zapdos. Just the most offensively threatening. Can't switch into it well besides Zapdos, which I have things to deal with that. Which is my Hippo. As I could just go for the Stealth Rock here. Definitely want those up. To pressure Zap and Fini, especially Zap once I knock the boots off, sticking rocks every time, so that's gonna open up drill. Go to Furrow, just the best play. Pex, I can't really go to that because I don't have knockoff or anything for Fini. So just knock those boots off like I said, that's gonna open up my extra drill. As it goes for the defog, I mean he's never gonna beat Hippo because he doesn't even have toxic or anything like that. So he gets the free switch into cart, which is fine. Zapdos typing is just great here because it just defensively deals with this, unless he has like Bandit Smart Strike, which won't kill. He knocks off my pads, which is not the best because if I get parried by Zap, that can be pretty bad versus Bisharp. But here I kind of have no choice but to attack him because if I let this Zapdos get away, then Joe's not gonna be able to like win fast enough. So I decided to take the risk, quote unquote, and just Brave Bird, kick into Brave Bird the Zapdos and knock it out. And I don't get parried, which is great. So I U-turn out on the Slow King. Just go to drill. You can't Oko me with anything. Scald will be the only thing, but I doubt he has Scald with a Fini. So yeah, just take the risk. Not really much of a risk because Flamethrower and things like that doesn't kill, like I said. Pops my balloon, but I don't need it. And yeah, it's just a pretty simple game. Every time Drill comes in, it essentially gets a kill because his ground answers are gone. So Katana takes a ton from that because I'm adamant. So again, just once I get my sand up, this game should just be done. Only threat left really is Bisharp. I go to Pex. This is Scott. What do you go for? I don't know where you SD there. It doesn't make any sense. Even if you had it, you likely Scarf because his team has really poor speed control. So I go to Pex first. Hippo is a very safe double. I take 2 Sacred Swords. Yeah, just take 2 Sacred Swords. Hippo is just best positionally because it covers that and it covers him going to Slow King on Pex. So it's just the best all-around play. Goes for Calm Mind. He has Nature's Madness with Calm Mind. Interesting. I'm not gonna say it's bad, but it's interesting. As I spike once, because I know he can't touch me. He can't tweak over me with anything. And I just want to speed the game up. Spike ensures that Kartana dies because it's at 16%. So Spikes plus Rocks is more than enough. He also Iron Head, which is a solid play on Zap. But I pivot to Hippo, knowing that he pretty much has to Sucker Punch, because if he doesn't, he's obviously going to die. As he sacks Cart, and he's in a really bad spot because Finny's taking rocks, spikes, all this stuff. And yeah, the game should be over. He goes for Nature's Madness, just fine. Go for Leech Seed in case he goes hard Bisharp. That in combination with Whip will just beat him. So yeah. I think I go for double leech. Yeah, no drawback. He can't touch me. If he goes to slow, can't get health back. No real reason to knock. I don't need the vest gone. I'll go to Hippo, just the safest play. Again, he can't guard against ground, so I'm going to both my ground types whenever I have the opportunity. As yeah, goes back to Finny. I'll just Savage Zapdos here. I don't need it because it dies a Sucker Punch, and then go to my drill and just clean it up. Very simple game, not much like prediction and stuff needed. Just bringing the 2 ground types in the end and win. So yeah, let's end it out one, and we back with the next. Alright, we got the third game versus a very offensive team. My opponent using just balls to the wall offense, Cart plus zone, the double TAPU, the Weavile, just very offensive team. This team does have trouble versus Finny plus zone in particular because Pax just gets taunted, and then Pharaoh, once that's trapped, like Finny's annoying to switch into. KOKO, I don't have Roost, so you don't really want to be switching into that. But the upside is these type of teams usually just get ravaged by Excadrill, so really just have rocks. Don't even need rocks because I'm Balloon Drill, so I'll beat Landers. So like he has to like U-turn. It's just very awkward for him. So yeah, just looking for a drill end game here. He's just very weak to that. Pretty susceptible to Zapdos as well because only switching is KOKO, and I have multiple answers to that. Very weak to KOKO, so it's a pretty even game. It's all about who positions what better. Hippo is there to guard against the 2 electric types. Lando with terrain up, it beats stats because it can't toxic me. Pex is mainly there for the Cart and Weavile. So yeah, like I said, even games have to play well. Just gotta watch out for Cart if it's SD and the zone Finny core. So let's hop straight into this one. I believe this was 1700 range at this point. So yeah, pretty solid opponent. I lead Hippo because it has decently good lead matchup versus everything beside like Carts. Though Finny made sense as a lead because, like I said, zone just beats Pharaoh. I don't have Shed Shell or anything like that. And yeah, so Finny makes sense. He reveals to be Trick Scarf, so Joe deals with him easier because he's probably not bulky, or he can't take 2 EQs. So pivot to Hippo, knowing that he likely wouldn't go for something like a double surf versus Pharaoh. He just want the immediate trap. So double to Hippo is safe, even if he's Toxic Zone and predicts me to go for rocks, which he shouldn't anyway, because like even if terrain is not up, you don't risk a Magna Zone there because you need it for Pharaoh. So a pretty safe double on my part as I catch the zone, so I'll get up free rocks. He knocks my Hippo off, which is fine. I'm completely fine with that. I still wall the 2 electrics, Youthin without my item. So I'll go for rocks into Toxic on Orlando. Again, what I'm aiming for is a late game drill. So first step is Toxicing Lando, and he lets me Brave Bird it. So I'm like, nice, give me that clean damage. Honestly, if I was him, I wouldn't have ever stayed in. because like you need that for drill. So yeah, and KOKO as well. Like Lakey and KOKO would just T-bow sweep him. But here I make a god play. Feral Hippo or drills is way too obvious. You're not going for T-bow or Dazzling Gleam, so to go straight for the Thunder's Kick. Click this so fast. That Kartana gets kicked in the chest, gone. Like I said, just very obvious. It's pretty low risk because again, it was never clicking a stab there. If I was him, I would have just U-turned in case I decided to be crazy and stay in, because then you know that I'm going for something to catch a double. Then you could like put a Finny at least and not die. But biggest threat to my team is gone. If that was SD, would have been a problem. So yeah, that's great, amazing. Go to Hippo here, knowing that he probably just go for the attacking move, but he goes to U-turns, it's fine. Even if he U-turns into Weavile, he's taking Sand Chip, which I'm cool with. Go to Pex, as he SDs, again, that's fine. I always eat +2 knock. I believe what do I do here? Or cover, yeah, cover, because I know he'd knock first, because if I haze, like, it's just a waste of an SD. So I scalded there, which is actually a misplay. Should have just hazed. Like sack Pex to this to keep him low, but no boost anyway. Here I go to Feral because I didn't think he'd SD again, because I had no reason not to haze. But Feral actually dies to +4 knock from there, so I can't stay in. So I got a sack Hippo. Honestly, again, would have been avoided if I just hazed, but I'll go to Drill because I live even +4 Ice Shard unless the Adamant rolls like 70 to 90, and I'm way above 90. So here I could actually rapid spin, kill his Weavile, get +1, so he can't even go to KOKO to kill me. And he has to go Landers, take rocks. Everything else takes way too much from EQ. Finny will be taking like 50 because he's like an offensive set. So I'd just be in an amazing spot, like pretty much a winning position, because his Weavile will be gone and rocks will be off the field. So Zap and KOKO just come in for free. But no, it gets a Ice Shard crit, which like obviously sucks because now I have to sack more Mons, which is pretty annoying. So I sack Zap because not that great versus the remaining outside zone and land, I guess, but it can't even kill zone because he's like the Iron Defense. So yeah, I had to sack 2 Mons there for nothing. So go to Pex, kill him with the Scald. I believe I got a Feral, yeah. Just to chip him with the Leech Seed. Got to keep my sacks. So yeah, I kind of had to switch there. Go for Leech Seed. Just get him a bit low for KOKO. Just trying to go for like a desperate end game with that. But yeah, Gleam knocked him out in specs, so just gonna drop. Not even split def with that. Goes to Finny. Now here I have a shot if I crit his KOKO and win the speed tie, but that's a pretty big axe. So I go for Gleam. That's 70. Crit would have definitely killed as he knocks me out. So this wasn't 1700. This is 1600 still, but we're approaching that. So stay tuned. But yeah, pretty BS game. But yeah, it happens anyway. You can move on to the next one. All right, this one is definitely 1700. So in this range, decided to switch it up once again. Pretty much like every 200 ranks I jumped, I switched the team. So I went from 15. I was using the offense and balance till 1700, then I switched to this. So this is very standard bulky offense, as standard as you can get. Shifu plus Future Sight with Glaring Slow King is very well known at this point, and prepared for, which is why I actually don't think this team is very good, because it's like Pex all literally have either block plus spite or light screen off. If you don't know what spite does, it's pretty much reduces the PP of the move you last used by 4. So click Future Sight, you're trapped by block. Pex uses spite, they stall your Future Sights out because Future Sight doesn't actually have that much PP, and then you lose to Pex and you lose your Slow King because you're trapped, because Future Sight plus like EQ doesn't do enough to Pex. They just recover stall, then you lose. Light screen is a pretty big problem, Again, because future sight won't do much damage, so like Shifu won't be able to break through Pex because of those two sets. So yeah, I don't even think it's a team. I think it's just the concept of future sight Shifu in general is very flawed. Like any good player would play around that, or just position themselves with a mon that can beat both Shifu and Slowking. So yeah, I'm really not a fan of this concept nowadays. It used to be very good back in the day, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, pads Shifu. This is my favorite set. With Focus Punch, for Corv and Skarm when they roost. G's Slowking with EQ Ice Beam. Corviknight provides defa, things like that. Helps with the offensive grass types like Kartana, Rillaboom. Spadef Lando helps a bit more with Dragapult, just as a backup for that. Other random stuff like Dracozolt, so a lot of things. There's just another thing, right? I don't feel like defensive Lando is that great in this meta. Like, I've always been a fan of offensive Lando, like Scarf, Band. I've used a lot lately. Even like Sash, with Explosion and stuff. I really don't like defensive Lando. It just pretty much is a 5 to 6 game versus Corviknight until you can get rid of it. So yeah, it's not really too big on it, but it's needed. Specs Pulse, I was debating between Modest and Timids like a lot, because I did well with KOKO and stuff like that. Weavile cannot do anything versus the team, but like late game KOKOs could be annoying, so just Timid, I guess. Though Modest, if you're real, just use that. And then SD Bisharp just goes to round it out, the breaker. And just, sci-fi dark, tried and true. Opponent's using Rain. Pretty scary-ish matchup if I don't play well or just position things so that Barraskewda can't just come in freely every turn. So, yeah, other than that, just need to play around Lele a bit. Though I know the team. I believe this is Storm Zone's team. It's Scarf Lele with like Side Shock Thunder. So my initial answer would be Slowking. But yeah, he goes very poorly against Shifu because it's an offensive Pelipper. It's Specs. So like that gets 2 killed straight up by Surge and Strike. And if he tries to pivot to Pharaoh, I can just CC afterwards. So it's really poor Shifu matchup. Can't kill Slowking easily. Bisharp, there's no dark resist. So it's pretty even. So yeah, just hop straight into it. Opponent leads with Lando, 0 Pulse. It beats quite literally everything on his team. Though if he's like Spadef, or even if he changed it to Scarf or something, I don't want to just get knocked off and die when he has no Ghost Resist. So he goes for Toxic, which is a fine play. I go for Brave Bird first, knowing that he's just gonna rocks. Get a bit of chip, which is nice. So I think he's in range of 2 Shadow Balls, some Pulse. So just Brave Bird and defog his Rockspray. So Lando pretty much did nothing. This is what I mean about Corviknight versus Lando. It's just like always sad to see. Like unless you have like a Magnezone or something, it's just rough for Lando. Anyway, I'll go to Slowking because I know this is Specs. Even if he's not Specs, just the best play. I doubt he U-turn there because if I U-turn, like I get the momentum. And people like to play greedily with Corviknight, so it was best for him to just attack. This Rain is very sick, by the way. Anyway, what did I do there? I went from Slowking. Oh right, yeah, I went to Slowking to Shifu on Pharaohs. I knew it would probably knock something, but knew he'd like Hazard first or double to Scooter because it makes sense. Covers the Flamethrower as Shifu in is just best. I can't Oko me with Power Whip even if we went for that. Like Pawn Switch is doing some crazy stuff. I know Psychic Fiends doesn't knock me out ever. Like it's extremely low roll. Like he have to get an extremely high roll to knock me out. So I'll go for the Surge and Strikes, knowing that he'd flip turn into one of Lando or Pelipper, trying to catch the CC or even Lele. Now here's where my protected pass comes into play. I take no damage from barbs. Let's go for the safe CC. No reason to predict. the Lele, because I switched well into it between Slow King and Corv, so just safe. We'll also Thunder trying to catch Corv, which makes sense. That'll be the initial switch in case of Specs, but I don't want to just die to a Specs Thunder. Even Scarf Thunder I don't take well, so Slow King is just the best all-around play. Even if you side shocks, only take 40 because I have a bit of defense on this, if I remember correctly. So I won't be too killed by that. As your Thunder trying to catch Core, which is makes sense, but I had no reason to go to that there. And I doubled the Lando because I figured that Pharaoh would be coming back out, so I could get up rocks. Don't need Lando that much, so I don't mind if it takes like a knock or something. Makes a very solid play, doubling to Pelipper, knowing that I'd probably do that. Though if I double to Polt, he'd be in a really bad spot versus that, because then he'd have to give me a Mon. But solid play on him, knowing that likely Lando coming out for the free rocks. So I have to switch there to Soaking because I need to keep Lando for the Lakey. As I go for Sludge Bomb again, I'm not predicting Pharaoh or anything like that, and like doubling to Shifu. Like I'm not doing that. Sludge Bomb just the best play. If it goes to Pharaoh, it's just a switch back to Shifu, and he's in the same position again where he has to predict whether I'd go for the Surging or the CC. But I have no reason not to CC. He has very poor fighting resist. Soul King is gonna be KO'd there, so I save it. So always keep your sacks. Make an insane play. Go for the Fire Blast, knowing the Pharaoh's coming because he can take 2 Shadow Balls. But I miss, which sucks. It wouldn't have killed, but it would have been like basically put at a range where like you can't even pivot on Surgeon Strikes anymore. Like Surgeon Strikes is extremely free once Pharaoh is low, because then I don't even have to predict. But I miss, so gotta make a couple plays. I double to Shifu. I don't know if Pelipper can take 2 Specs, Fire Blast, and Rain. I'm not gonna risk it because I'll just be giving him another kill. So I double to Shifu. I'm not playing with any of that. I know that Surgeon Strikes kills because he's offensive, like I said. And I just strike and pick up a KO finally. So it gives me Lando, which makes sense. It's not doing anything versus Corv, my own Lando. So it goes for Liquidation. I know he wouldn't Psychic Fang. Assume he wouldn't. Like, it just loses too much momentum into Corv and Bish. And that's the only thing that could kill me. I don't think CC ever kills Shifu from 60 because it's just very bulky. Like, people underestimate how bulky Shifu is. So the sack Corv, CC is pretty good play there, as it puts him at 2 hits from helmet range. So he was at 22, at CC at -1. That's fine. I can just sack Corv after that. So yeah, pretty solid positioning. As here I go to Slow King first. No matter what he goes to, I get free regen. He'd have to go to Pelipper to kill me, and I doubt he'd go to that because if I go to Polt, he's giving me a free kill. So he has to side shock there. I know this, so I'll go to Bisharp. Pretty risky, but I know he wouldn't predict in that situation because like you don't want Slow King getting away. Cause that's the only thing stopping Pelipper and Lele from clicking Moonblast. So go to Bisharp, very free knock. He has no dark resist, so I'm just gonna capitalize on that. Double knock is gonna be able to knock out the Pharaoh. Yeah, so he goes to Lakey. Now here, I know he would double to Pelipper on Lando. It's just very obvious, but again, no reason to predict. Like, and choke the game away and stay in to knock. Because then I could actually lose to Scarf Side Shock Sweep, potentially, because everything is in range. Slow King will be too killed. Like, it's just no reason to ever risk. I have more sacks than him, so I don't need to do anything crazy to win at this point. It's rare. I feel like a lot of players are mess up. Like, a lot of people probably would have knocked there predicting the double when you don't need to. But anyway, just go to Lando is the best play, the safest play. Either Shifu or Polt get a kill, so I just throw out Shifu because it's outsped by Lakey and Lele. Whereas Polt, I believe, can live a hit from Lakey, and at least block rapid spin and things like that. And it's just better to have, I felt. So it's all Shifu. Because Polt, it just comes in, click the unguardable Shadow Ball. Like he just drops. So Lele, which is fine. I have Moonblast and Side Shock resist, so I'm fine to just sack Lando finally because his electric type is gone. I go to Lando. I take the side shock. He pretty much has to double. The thing is, though, if he's not timid, Pelipper or Bishop, outspeeds him. So if I pivoted to that on the shock, I get a kill either way. So good effort that's on his parts. Probably predicted me to double the Bish again, but it doesn't matter. This ball, get a kill, and sack Polt, because no reason to switch. Even if I did, I still won, but yeah. And then go for bomb. Nothing he can lock into, kills everything. So yeah, solid game. And then we'll be back with the last one. We got the fifth and final game. Ran into stall. I figured I would eventually because it's higher up. Everybody's spamming these style of teams, but we are prepared as I switched back over to the Zapdos team. As if you're looking at it, Specs KOKO destroys him. I have Grass Knot, so if I catch that Gastro one time, the game is done. Because after that, I can't heal on anything. Unless I Specs T-Bolt lock and he saves it. But yeah, once I catch that Gastro, it's just T-Bolt. T-Bolt. Like, he's just very weak to that move. Kyurem, Specs Clean, things like that. If you're not Spadef Clef, you can't take 2 T-Bolts. So really just remove Gastro and then KOKO wins. It's pretty much what I'm seeing. Zapdos is nice as well with the taunt, though it's kind of annoying to break through all 3 of Pex and Clef. Corv doesn't have Brave Bird on this type of team because he's just very weak to Bisharp, so I knew he has body press. So Zapdos actually walls Corviknight. And yeah, just kind of have to play a longer game. Hippo's not getting Rock Step versus Corv, which is fine, because it forces Defog anyway, which gives me a Defiant boost. So that's pretty nice thing to keep in mind. Pex is pretty unkillable. Pharaoh is really difficult to kill for him as well, and nothing at all unless he's a Heat Wave Torn. And Joe can do it late game if I remove Corv somehow, like knock it off, lead C, just play intelligently around it. It beats everything else because Clef, even if unaware, doesn't beat it for obvious reasons. And yeah, so let's just hop straight into the game. I leave with KOKO. He's just the best lead. Like I said, it beats his whole team. So yeah, turn 1. People just play extremely cockily with Pex, thinking they live every hit. But no, I am Specs. I'm going straight for the T-Bolt. I'm not playing any games with this, letting him knock me off or anything like that. Go straight for the T-Bolt. No heat stand because people would stall, they don't think. So I knocked that straight out. So one of his things I could switch into my own Pex is gone. And here I go to Hippo because I know he's sub, but they don't run Specs on stall. And I pivot to Pharaoh. Now that I see his sets, I can kind of just set up all over him. Though I don't have Guard Ball, so like I said, I'm gonna have to play around the Kyurem. I spike once. Spike is great for Gashadon. Just hampers it, really, its ability to switch into KOKO. After spike, it'll die to Grass Knot. It's like a roll, but yeah. Go for 2 knocks. Yeah, 2 knocks. Go back to Hippo, get the sand up so that he's not subbing for free, he's getting chipped. Now here, Hippowdon actually counters his Kyurem because he's like a weak set. He doesn't have like max special attack. These don't really run that on these type of teams, so that's why I took that so well. And then I pivot to Joe. It's the least useful member, so it's just the best play, and I forced the Kyurem out. So what this allows is for me to pull a double out to Tapu KOKO, knowing that Corviknight is 100% coming out there. No way you just give me Kyurem for free. And here I'd make another aggressive play and a Grass Knot the Gashadon upon switching, knowing that that's his only option. He barely lives on 1%. Can't really, like, he could have pivoted to Clef, but he'd be too killed and had to go Gasher. Like, it's just not that great. And Clef is just a greater risk there. So let's go for Grass Knot again. I'm not playing around. Like, people like to click recover, predicting you to double on like one of their resist. I'm not doing that. I just go straight for the grass, not kill his only electric immunity. So KOKO, once it comes back in again, gets a kill, because Kirim is 2 killed from there, even if he has any like type of like SPDF investment or something. So I go to Hippo. This is best positionally because it can at least prevent Kirim from subbing down, whereas with Pharaoh, he can just sub on that because I don't have anything to hit him with. Now here I'll go to KOKO and Kirim, just not Kirim, on Corviknight, just keep up the offensive pressure, not giving you any chances. What do I go for here? I'll go for Gleam, yeah. Didn't necessarily want to Volt Switch in case he decided to roost. Though if I did, Drill would have just won instantly. But again, all I need to do is play it patiently, and I should just be able to win quite easily. So yeah, I actually stay in. My mentality was, if he kills me, I just go back to KOKO, get a guaranteed kill. So I'm fine with that either way. And I didn't think he'd go straight for Hurricane, because like you're just giving KOKO another KO. So I'm not even sure if I died to uninvest a Hurricane either. So go back to KOKO to basically get another kill. He U-turns into what did I Volt switch there? I think I wanted to vote just to scout to see what the clef was. If he SPDF, I get enough chip to where I 2-kill him next time. And I didn't want to be T-bolt locked into Kirim because I don't think I kill him from there. So because I think terrain will run out. So that's how I Volt switch. So I taunt the clef to prevent any type of wish or stealth rocks. And I Brave Bird does a ton to the Torn as he can Hurricanes again. 2-kill Hippo, barely a 2-kill because the first did 28. And now it's time for somebody to die. Go straight for the T-bolt. Clef is not SPDF, doesn't eat that up well at all, and he gets knocked out by 2. So at this point it's pretty much done. Go for the T-bolt there, and just knock him out because I have terrain up, so I know to kill him from there. Yeah, so that's pretty much that. I'll be back with part 2 of this because I have a lot more games to show. This is like mid-ladder range, so just wanted to show these first. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, see you all next time. Peace.